Thought I'd give you a little look at my town. I love the architecture of this building. I'm just sitting here on a bench. There's cherry trees all the way along, and there's a lovely peaceful bench in the shade with these gorgeous cherry trees. It's an April day, it's gorgeous, and the buses are going by so you can hear them. Tourist season has started, but this town has enough space for everybody, and I'll just take a little walk with you back so you can see the cherry trees. They're truly amazing. You don't need to go to Japan. You can be right here in Italy and experience this. It happens to be rush hour, so you'll hear a bit of traffic, but not so bad. Anyway, we can enjoy the cherry trees, and people are just, it's April, mid-April, people are just enjoying the sun, taking it easy. This is my daily walk along the road from the station, which I use for transport. There's a bus going along. Yeah, just want to give you a taste of an Italian town if you're thinking of living in an Italian town. And I'll answer some of your pertinent questions. I'm going to do 5 questions in the next videos I do, because I get asked the same questions over and over, and so I'm going to answer them. I'm going to sit on a bench and answer them. So I can be here and have lunch. It's a gorgeous day. As you can see, the sky is azure blue. And yeah, let's give you a little taste of Cherry Tree Lane. These gorgeous flowering cherries, they really just erupted this week. Look how beautiful they are. And when you walk under them, they almost don't seem real. It seems like a fantasy story, but they are beautiful. So what I'm going to do is sit on this bench, which is quite shady, underneath this enormous cherry tree. Look how pretty my town is, isn't it gorgeous? And answer your questions that you've been sending me. Instead of the usual in my house or in my studio, I'm going to sit here in the shade. We might get a slight interruption from the traffic, but let's start. Okay. So, number one question that everyone is asking, because there's a lot of confusion about this, and someone wrote to me this week, and it's about the elective visa for Italy. Now, I've covered the elective visa for Italy on various occasions, and this is just another one. So there's a lot to get hold of. So there are tons of videos on YouTube, there's sites online, there's Facebook groups dedicated to this. There's lawyers who specialize in this, and of course also Italian citizenship and other visas. But the elective visa is the one that most Americans and people who don't have rights, English people who after Brexit don't have rights to settlement in Italy because they weren't settled here before Brexit happens. And so they'd love to come to Italy. And so these are the options. There's really only 2 options, the elective visa and recently the digital nomad visa. I'll answer a question about that at the end, but let's just focus on the elective visa. Of course, another option, if you have Italian ancestry, you can ask for citizenship. But let's leave citizenship aside and let's just deal with the elective visa. So the elective visa requires that you have a passive income of between 28 to 32. Some people say it would be much safer to say 38, but anyway, in those parameters, per annum, per year, and that means passive income. So what is passive income? I've covered this before. I will put the video up in the corner there so you can go and have a look again. Passive income means that you have it from investments, that you don't have a job. You cannot work on this visa whatsoever. So you cannot work in Italy, you can't work remotely, you can't work. It is for a retirement visa, so to speak, but you can retire at any age. There's no particular age. Obviously, they look favorably on people who have social security payments, pension annuities, pensions that are paid monthly into their account. You need 6 months of records. So you need to be able to prove, not on bits of paper, not on tax forms that your tax guy or your accountant wrote for you, but provable into a bank account from the same source, a passive income that you get from the rental of your properties or whatever it is, but you're not working. Okay, you need that. That's for a single person. If you're a married couple, you can take it up another 5,000, and if a year, and if you have children, for each child it's another 2,000. So you can do the maths. What else do you need to know? You need to know that you need to secure a rental apartment for a year. You need a year's rental agreement, or your own home if you own your own home. And of course, many people own their own home and then found out that they can't stay here. Am I still recording? Yes. Okay. Yes. So you need the accommodation. You need a full year's medical insurance to cover every eventuality. This is so the Italian government doesn't have to pick up the pieces if something happens to you. And you need a clean criminal record, obviously. So you need all of these things checked in a row, and you need to apply in your country of residence. So your normal country of residence, that's either America, Australia, England, or whichever country you're in. If you're in the European Union, you do not need an elective visa. You have rights, or if you have a European Union passport, you have rights. You simply have to register for residence here when you get here, and you have rights to work and to do whatever, as long as you're resident, okay? So, that's the nuts and bolts of that. Recently, people asked, well, can you, and this is a big question, and it's a question that many people have asked me, and people are nervous to ask it online because they feel they get judged. And look, I'm just a piano player. Please don't shoot me. I'm just trying to help. So people ask, well, if I get the selective visa and I plug in here in Italy and everything works out, I get the visa, does it mean that I can spend more than 90 days in another Schengen country? So a lot of people are thinking, okay, I'll get the visa for Italy because I quite like exploring Italy, but then I want the liberty to go and spend more than 90 days in another Schengen country. No, you can't. You cannot do that. So you can't then drift off to, I don't know, Germany, France, and spend more than 90 days in 180. You can't do that. You have rights to stay longer than 90 days in Italy. So your elective visa rights are Italian. And if you go online, you will see that people ask this question because there's lots of Americans who've made videos on this, not really knowing the legislation. I've even seen lawyers talking about this, Italian lawyers who don't really know, because they've never had to deal with this. It's a new thing. Oh gosh. I thought that man was going to have a meeting with a tree on his motorbike. Anyway, yes, so that is the answer, and I hope that's clear now. You cannot stay 90 days in any other country in Europe other than Italy, for which you have a year's visa. The visa is for 1 year. It is then renewable. After 5 years, you can have permanent residence, and after 10 years of continuous residence in which you cannot go away for more than 6 months, you can then apply for Italian citizenship if you meet all the other requirements, and there's a whole list of those. I'm not going to cover citizenship, but that is the process, and that's the elective visa. If you have any other questions and you want to know what the story is about, what kind of rental agreement, what kind of medical insurance, or any of those, I think I've been quite clear. This is what you need, and you apply at your consulate in your country of residence. So if you live in Washington, D.C., you'll apply there. If you live in New York, you'll apply there. If you live in Los Angeles, you'll apply there. If you live in London, you'll apply there. If you live wherever you live, in Australia, in Sydney, whatever, you apply there for your elective visa. So I hope that covers the question. So that was a burning question that many people asked. Can you go and spend more than 90 days in another European country, Schengen country, if you get an elective visa? No, you can't. Once you get citizenship, you can, but that's 10 years down the line. Okay, so I hope that covers that. I mentioned that I would just briefly cover something I've also done a video on, and I'll also put that video up there, which is the recently approved, just at the beginning of this month, on the 6th of April, was approved, the Digital Nomad visa that you all want to know about, that everyone's asking me about. That visa has just been tabled, it's been accepted, and so I guess soon enough, in your country of residence, once again, not here in Italy, you can't come here on holiday and then decide to change your reason for stay. No. So you need to be in the skilled category, technology skilled. I'll leave that up to your embassy to ask you the pertinent questions. It would be better to be a graduate. So if you have technology skills, if you can prove that for 6 months you have worked as a digital nomad visa, meaning you work in the technology online area, you're able to earn a living, you can show your earnings. So there's two options here. You can be employed by an international firm who installs you in Italy, pays your social security contributions, pays you insurance, employs you on a contract. That's one option. Another option is you can be self-employed. Please bear in mind there are tax issues here. It's not just a matter of I'm adrift in there for 6 months, I'm not going to pay tax. Please look at your taxability. So you need to consult with an Italian tax specialist. You can send me an email if you're lost about that. You need to consult whether this would be tax effective for you, because a lot of people get into a big pickle. Remember, as an American citizen, you still have liabilities to to fill in American tax return annually, regardless of where you're coming to. And so you may not want to be having to register your company for VAT. So in other words, if you're selling a service, let's say you're selling a video production company, let's say you're writing content, whatever, that service has to be invoiced, it has to have a VAT number. It's not just, oh, I sent this much money and that came in. No, it's a proper set of business. You need a clean criminal record and obviously a copy of that. You need a year's health insurance once again. You need to prove that you can rent an apartment for the extended period in which you're here. So once again, it's a 1-year visa. The first 6 months will obviously help you to decide whether it's going to work for you or not. But I suggest, if you think that this is going to be the answer to all your dreams of moving around Europe and spending 4 months there and 5 months there, it's not going to work, because once again, you have permission to be in Italy longer than 90 days. You don't have permission to drift around Europe at leisure and work wherever you like online. So if you have other questions about the digital nomad visa, the earnings per month that you need to prove that you've done in the past and that you can continue to prove is about 2,300 euro. So you work it out if you fit that gap. And for some people it'll work, but even for the people who think that will work for you, please do your homework and find out if you want to get involved in this tax situation, because you will be liable for Italian tax. And that is no joke. It's very complicated. We pay a very high tax in Italy, and most people who earn a good salary, 38%, between 38% and 40%, So yes, be very, very aware that it may seem like a loophole to get in here and then carry on and work where you like in Europe and eventually get residency somewhere else or here in Italy, and then that leading to citizenship. It's a very long road and it's not going to be easy. So anyway, I hope I've covered what you wanted to hear. I'll see you on the next one. Please like the video. I really appreciate the likes. It lets me know that you've enjoyed the video. Leave me a comment. I want to know. It doesn't have to be a question. It can just be, well, you know, enjoyed the video, like the cherry tree, whatever. Aren't they pretty? Gorgeous. And I'll see you on the next one. And yes, look at the cherry trees. Aren't they gorgeous? Yeah. So I'll see you on the next one. And please subscribe and share it with people who you've been discussing this with. Share it in your groups, share it with your friends, share it wherever you like. See you on the next one. Bye.